Sonic's Greenhouse Adventures Season 3 Chapter 15, The Deal. When Sonic and the gang got to Charlotte's house, they saw Annika was uneasy. She was whimpering in her sleep.
What's going on with Annika? Is something wrong?
Sonic asked as he took her in his arms to try and soothe her.
We're not actually sure. She might have just missed her brothers. However, something tells me it's something more than that.
Thankfully, Sonic was able to soothe her into a more peaceful sleep.
Whoa, you're good at that, Sonic. I've been trying to soothe her for a while now.
Thanks, Pratamom. That means a lot. I want to be the best big brother I can be for her.
Then Sonic kissed Annika on the forehead and put her back in her crib to finish her nap. Later that night, when everyone was asleep, Dr. Diamond snuck into the room Annika was sleeping in. However, Annika was one clever baby, so she immediately cried as soon as she sensed Dr. Diamond's presence. Dr. Diamond was clever too, however, and acted quickly. She used a rag with sleeping powder on it and put it over her face, and she fell back asleep.
Nice try, clever little one, but I was prepared for that.
Dr. Denman whispered as she picked up the baby, then she left to know before getting out of there. Sonic's point of view.
I was sleeping soundly when I heard something that woke me up immediately. Annika's crying. I was about to head to her when something alarmed me even more. It stopped abruptly. Something wasn't right here, so I continued to where she was, only to find her gone. This caused me to hyperventilate. I looked all over the room for clues when I found a note. It said,
Dear Wachowski family, I have taken your baby. If you want her back, tell Sonic, Marina, Shadow, and Silva to come alone to my lab to surrender. My address is on the back. Also, make sure your parents aren't following you. And I know about that owl, so bring her too. From Dr. Denman.
I gasped in horror. I couldn't believe she stooped that low. Guys, Annika has been kidnapped. I screamed at the top of my lungs as I left the room with the note in my hand. The moment I stepped into the hallway, everyone ran up to me with fearful eyes.
Who could have done this?
I couldn't find my voice as tears fell down my muzzle, so I just handed him the note Dr. Denman left. After reading it out loud, Shadow and him got the most fearsome, angry glares on their faces.
What are you guys going to do?
Prasamom asked as she was crying about this too.
We had no choice. Nothing is worth the loss of our sister. I wished there was another way. However, I'm sure we'll figure a way out of there. But first, we have to let her win for now. You'll have to trust us.
Shadow said with me, Silver Longclaw, and Marina nodding in agreement.
All right, just be careful.
Pratamom said as we did a long and tight group hug, for we didn't know when this would be over.
We won one, we promise.
Silver said seriously. I realized I needed to take one of my rings with me so we could get Annika home without any misunderstandings.
Then they prepared to leave. Sonic picked up Marina bridal style. Silver started using his psychokinesis to fly alongside Longclaw, and Shadow used his air shoes. They dashed off as fast as they could. In 10 minutes, they arrived at the location Dr. Denman told them to meet her at. It was a huge building with a garage door acting as the entrance to the facility. Sonic knocked on the door frantically, for he wanted to get Annika to safety as soon as possible. The door opened as Sonic took out the ring. Dr. Denman walked up to them with a fraying Annika in her arms.
Sonic, Shady, Sylvie!
Annika cried as her little arms reached out to her brothers.
Annika! Look, we will fulfill our end under one condition. No dissection nor any deadly procedures. You'll have to keep us alive and healthy.
Fine, I agree to your terms.
Dr. Denman said as she handed Annika to Sonic and showing that she wasn't crossing her fingers.
I'll give you 5 minutes to say goodbye to her.
Thank you, Dr. Denman. Well, I'm sorry, Annika. We're not going home with you. We love you so much, and we'll miss you.
Sonic said shakily as he started to sob quietly and held her close to his face.
But don't worry, little sis. She gave her word to keep us alive.
Silver added when he noticed her beginning to cry.
That's right, Annika. We need you to be strong for us, okay?
Shadow said as he kissed her forehead tearfully. Finally, Sonic threw the ring and it opened up to show the room Tom and Maddie were in. Maddie saw it and ran over to take Annika in her arms.
Goodbye, guys. We love you so much.
Sonic said as he and his brothers began to break down and the portal closed. The family they were looking for so long was now being ripped away from them for who knows how long. Immediately, Marina hugged Sonic to comfort him in the only way she could.
Thanks, Marina. I needed that.
Sonic said as the three of them stood up.
Anything for you, my love.
Dr. Demon then walked up to them and she knocked them all out.
Okay, take Shadow and Silva to cell 5. Take the Owl to cell 1. You take Sonic to cell 6. And you take Marina to cell 100.
Dr. Demon said as she pointed to each of her henchmen. They all nodded as they picked our heroes up to do just that.
Let the fun begin.
Dr. Demon said to herself as she went to get the lab ready for them. Sonic's point of view.
The last thing I remembered was everything going black. Then my eyes gradually opened as I shot up into a seeing position. Once my vision was cleared, I was able to take in my surroundings. I was in a bedroom-looking place with 3 doors. One was on the opposite wall from the bed I was sitting in. The second one was on the east side of the room, and the third one was on the west side. I got out of the bed as the realization came to me. I was all alone. Where did that mad woman take them? I don't want to be alone. Not again. I screamed as I was having a panic attack. I ran up to the first door to find it was locked, so I started banging on the door as I started screaming for Dr. Demon and pretty much anybody who could hear me.
Marina's point of view.
I woke up all alone in a similar room to Sonic's. When I heard his screams, I knew that meant he was alone too, and that is the worst form of torture for him. So I looked around the room knowing it was more than likely that a camera was watching and listening in on me. I finally found it and got as close to it as I could get. Hey, I know you're listening, and you have to let one of us be with Sonic. He'll literally go insane if you don't. I shouted as I pointed at the camera. A few minutes later, the locked door opened.
Alright, I will. But it's not going to be you. So who else would be best to keep him calm besides Eve?
Longclaw, since she's known him the longest. I replied easily, even though I was annoyed that she wouldn't let me be with him.
Alright then, but before I go, you should see what's behind the other door.
Dr. Denman added as she locked the door again and left. I wondered what she meant, so I carefully opened the door. It was the other half of the cell, only it was a tank-like pool. I knew a swim would calm down my nerves, so I dived in. Once I was transformed, I swam around as I noticed marine life was put in to remind me of the ocean. So despite our predicament and her intentions, at least she was making it as comfortable as possible.
Longclaw's point of view.
When I woke up, I saw I was in a standard cell. But a few minutes later, Dr. Deming came over and opened the cell door. What do you want? I asked seriously.
I need you to come with me. Sonic is having a panic attack, and I was told you knew him the longest, so you get to stay with him.
Dr. Deming explained as I flew to follow her. This got me so worried for Sonic. When we got there, I heard his devastating screams as he was banging on the door.
Sonic's point of view.
I was still panicking when I heard someone walking towards the door, but I stopped and stepped back as I heard the door being unlocked. When it opened, I saw Longclaw.
Oh, Sonic, it's okay. I'm here now.
Longclaw came over to me and hugged me. I immediately hugged her back and cried again. I was so busy doing that I didn't even hear Dr. Demon lock the door and leave. Then we finally ended the hug as I looked up the other door, realizing I didn't check it out. So I walked over and opened it to reveal a tank-like pool. Thanks, Longclaw, I needed that. But maybe I can show you some new tricks I do in the water, I said as I got into the tank.
Sure, Sonic, I'd like that.
Longclaw said excitedly as she flew over the tank so she could see me. Then I proceeded to do just that. Man, momentarily, I felt completely free.
Shadow's point of view.
I woke up in a similar room to Marina and Sonic's, only it had 2 beds. I saw that Silver was still unconscious in the other bed, so I walked over to him and started to shake him softly. Silver, please wake up, I said frantically as I did this. After a minute of trying to waken up, he finally opened his eyes.
Shadow? Where are we?
Silver asked groggily as he slowly sat up. Then he looked around and started freaking out.
Where are the others?
Silver said as he shook me frantically out of desperation for answers. Whoa, ease up on the freak out there, little bro. Whoa, ease up on your freak out there, little bro. I don't know where the others are, and it looks like we're in the room we'll be staying in when they're not doing tests on us. Now let's see where those doors lead to, I said to calm him down, and then we headed to the first door, only to find it locked. The second door revealed a swimming area, and the last door was the bathroom area.
Hey, why don't we go for a swim? That always helps us cheer up.
Silver said excitedly. I nodded in agreement, and we both jumped into the swimming area.
Meanwhile, with Marina, she was swimming back to the doorway as the reality set in. So, to hide and hold back her tears, she began to sing at full volume.
Cold steel walls surround me. Dr. Demon's gaze, it chills me. Sonic, shadow, silver, far away. Locked in separate cells, they say. This water, my only comfort now. A prison of blue, a silent vow. My tail flicks, a restless beat against the glass, a sad retreat. Half mermaid, half human, caught in between. A subject of study, a scientist's queen. Her experiments, a cruel design to dissect our hearts, to intertwine. Will I ever see Sonic again? His emerald eyes, his gentle hand, his brothers too, their strength, their might, lost in the darkness, stolen from the light. The echoing silence, a constant dread. Will this be my fate, my watery bed? A lifetime of longing, a hopeless plea to break these bonds, to set them free. Escape, a flicker of hope, so frail. Against the odds, a desperate sail. But the chances are slim, the future unknown. Will I ever find my way back home? This cold sterile chamber, my watery tomb, a scientist's obsession, sealed in gloom. My tears mix with the water, a salty stream, a mermaid's lament, a heartbroken dream. I swim in circles, lost and afraid. My love for Sonic, a silent parade. Will our hearts ever be as one again?
When she finished, she felt a new sense of hope and determination to stay strong, knowing everything would turn out okay.